justice and peace and equality.
Man, Game Changers Media Network, Game Changers Magazine, Voices of the Village podcast, and we back with Miss Kim Mays. I got me some good water out of the crystal. What kind of machine is
Crystal
that?
Springs,
Crystal
the water
Springs.
cooler,
Oh,
honey.
man.
Help the children.
Help the children, man. Filtered, all that, man. Y'all, we in Kim Mays' office with this interview. Now, we were talking between the break, and we was talking about, insurance, saying a lot of people don't understand insurance.
Right.
We get insurance because it's required. Mm-hmm. Realistically, most of us probably wouldn't even have insurance if it was, if it was just a sale game,
Yeah.
But one thing we was talking about
So the question is, who would pay for that $100,000, $300,000, whatever accident you caused?
Yeah,
Who would pay for that? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Another
like a good neighbor.
Subject.
State Farm is there. And I was in the store the other day. Matter of fact, it was 2 days ago. I had on your shirt, and they asked me, was I Jay? I was like, oh my God, I am not Jay.
That's branding at its best.
Branding at its best. You know what I'm saying?
Because you don't look nothing like
As a
that.
matter of fact, I was in the Bahamas one time. I was somewhere, and I had on Sherry Denard's shirt.
Yeah.
And one guy, he said, "Is that your wife, Sherry?"
I could see if they said, "Do you know Jay?"
Nah, I'm like, okay. So everybody reckon State Farm is a reputable brand out here. Man, okay. Awesome. Now let's talk about the financial literacy part.
Okay.
Using insurance to your benefit, maximizing your insurance plan, making your insurance work for you instead of, because I think a lot of us look at insurance as a bill.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So for me, insurance is peace of mind, right? So what I'm doing is I'm paying a little portion of money to give me protection that if I cause an accident or I have a loss that is an amount of money that does not exist in my bank account, there's an entity or something to pay for it, right? And so what I mean by that is I have good coverage or the right coverage or whatever I deem I want the insurance company to pay for me, right?
Right. Or
let's say $1 million. Let's say I have $1 million, right?
Okay.
And so what happens is now, instead of me trying to save money in case I cause $1 million accident, right? I can go do something else with my money because I've already, earmarked this premium or this payment for the $1 million of coverage.
Right.
So I already know if my house burns down, right? I don't have to worry about having money or tapping into my savings to get all that stuff back.
Yes.
Right? So now maybe my savings, I don't have to put so much into it. I can back off and then I can go do other things with my money, like investments or retirement or other things. So I look at it as, or vacation, right? Yeah. I look at it as peace of mind, but you're right. So many look at it as a bill. And of course, if you're not having accidents, you look at it like it's a waste of your money, but the reality is it's an accident. So we never know when it's going to happen.
I mean, but you got to think for a person, I mean, and let's say you ain't been in an accident in 5 years, right? Yep. You dropped no tickets, you got a nice clean record. I mean, it has to be some type of, okay, they're a safe driver, something, or something. I mean, do we get a sticker for?
Well, so the reality, the problem is, right? There's rates.
Okay.
And so you have actuators. They come up with the rates, and so the problem is you haven't had any accidents in 5 years, the feeling is your insurance should be like $2.50, right?
Right.
But your rate of whatever, $100.
Okay.
You're a good driver, you're a safe driver, this, that, and the other. Pales in comparison to other customers who may be paying a lot more, but you can't see that, right?
Okay.
Because you're only looking at it from your lens.
Okay.
But what I try to do for like my customers is I take that premium that they're paying.
Right.
And I say, hey, let's say it's $1 million of coverage that the insurance company is willing to pay out on your behalf.
Okay.
The reality is, in a lot of cases, it would take them 100+ years to pay that premium in order for the insurance company to collect what the insurance company is willing to pay out for them, right?
Okay. Right.
It only takes you one time to have an accident for the insurance company to pay out for you, right?
Right.
So it would take you 100 years to save or pay the premium that the insurance company is willing, okay, we're on the hook
Yes.
to pay this out on your behalf. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
It only takes you to rear end somebody one time.
One time.
And that could be 5 years in one day. And so the reality, in 5 years in one day, okay, maybe you paid $10,000.
Okay.
But again, maybe the insurance company's on the hook for $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Because that 5 years in one day, and this is a whole nother conversation, you could kill somebody.
Oh man.
Okay.
And that's even then the bill's even higher.
Right. I mean,
So it all makes sense.
But I get it. It's never going to happen to me. It's never happened to me. And the reality these days, it's not you, right? You're a safe driver.
Okay.
You're controlling your car. Listen, you got to be worried about everybody else out here.
Absolutely.
Because somebody can swerve in your lane, cause you to swerve into somebody else's lane. You hit them and that person's gone. Guess who's at fault?
Who's at fault?
You are. You hit. Yeah.
Woo.
That part.
Man,
right?
man.
You're minding your own business.
Okay. That's a whole different, that's like, oh my God.
Right. So I think again, and this is my own personal opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get good coverage.
Yeah.
Get protection, set it and forget it.
Okay.
Right? Go do something else with your money. Then you won't be so worried about what's going on over here.
So,
because you're building over here.
So like when it comes down, I think everybody, they keep their cars covered, house and rent possibly, et cetera. But I want to go back. I want to go to something because you said State Farm sold multiple insurance plans. All right, you guys said multiple. Let's talk about the life insurance policies. We are still, and we talked about financial literacy. We are still undereducated about this life insurance policy. How everybody thinks like, oh, I can start a life insurance policy and I can eat off of it, take collateral from it, and I think the first thing we think is collateral, not the policy.
Okay. So when you say undereducated, I laugh and think, most people think that as soon as they buy a life insurance policy, they're going to die. Right? So people don't buy policies for that.
Okay.
A lot of people just don't prioritize it, right? It's too expensive. So again, that's another one of those set it and forget it things, right? So I could insure somebody's life for $20 a month.
Right.
But I got, people DoorDash for $20 a day.
Come on now.
Yeah. And I get Kim, I can't afford it. I love when people say they can't afford it. Listen, if you can't afford it, you can't afford to not have it.
Right.
The other part why I think people choose to be uneducated about it, because just like I'm never going to have that accident, I'm never going to die. Right? When the reality is we don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah, nobody knows.
And so, life insurance, right, helps your family to be able to maintain the lifestyle that they are currently living with you.
Okay.
And even beyond that, right?
Right.
Do you really want your family to be out in the street because you've now passed away and they can't afford to pay the mortgage when you could have given $20 a month to save your $500,000 home?
Okay.
Just an example.
Correct.
Right? So we definitely need education
Definitely.
out there, right? And that little tidbit I just gave you, I just talked about life insurance,
Nip
right?
on the iceberg.
I hadn't even gone into the other part of what life insurance could do for people.
Okay.
Right? Living benefits.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So our permanent life insurance policies that have cash value in them, that you can actually borrow the money, you can come and get the money, you can use the money, right? So here I am putting my little $20, or it's a permanent policy, so let's make that $50, right? Putting it into a policy that if I pass away is going to pay my family, let's say $100,000. But oh, wait a minute, while I'm living, if my car breaks down, let me come borrow some money, right? If you got the cash value, let me borrow the money.
Correct.
I gave that example. You could go have a party with the money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Go on a trip just to Tahiti.
Right. But I don't know how or when we will ever open our minds to understand the value of, putting that $20.
But do you think it's like opening our minds, or do life be really lifing out here? You know what I mean? Because you dealing with a group. You dealing with. I mean, half our homes we grew up in ain't even have a budget. We just.
But is life really lifing? So that's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is life really lifing?
Yeah.
Because we out here got the new shoes, got the good cars,
nails
we got
done,
the nails done, hair done, everything did.
Yeah.
I mean, is life really lifing? Like, have you ever sat down with someone and, hey, we start with the budget first. Let's see where your money's going to.
Correct.
So how can we, life is lifing, but let's keep life lifing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Like if you pass away, let's keep your life lifing with your family.
With your family. You're correct.
So
And I get it because and a lot of times, now I'm gonna tell you what I've seen, and we talk about life and life insurance policy, but the one thing I was interested in was the life insurance policy on these kids, man. We got a lot of kids dying early. I've never seen kids die at a rate like that. Well, I only lived one time, but as far as what I've studied, I haven't seen kids just die at this rate.
So, honestly, we wouldn't want a kid, we don't want our kids to die. So even though I love doing life insurance policies on children, but not for the death benefit, right?
Okay.
But it exists.
Right.
And that could be a whole nother conversation, because a lot of parents don't think about if your child did die, right? How is that going to affect you emotionally?
Yeah.
You may not even want to return back to work, right? But your bills aren't going to stop.
No.
And so a life insurance policy could help, right? You may not have to go back to work. You can go to therapy and still pay the bills. But I like to talk about life insurance for children.
Right.
Right? To put them in a different position, in a different financial position, right? Going back to that cash value.
Yes.
Going back to them having a place to go borrow money, right? And credit doesn't have to be checked. We don't even have to know why you need it.
Okay.
And I, again, going back to, I sold real estate. And one of the things that kept a lot of people from buying real estate is what? What would you say?
Buying was lack of money.
Lack of money.
Yeah.
They don't have the down payment.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So if parents bought life insurance for their children, the death benefit, okay, right?
Yeah.
But the opportunity to grow money inside of a vehicle
Right.
that just happens to have a death benefit, right? But when they get to the point they're out of college or whatever and they want to buy a house and they need down payment money, they could come and get. Guess what? You don't have to pay taxes on it, right? When you pull it out, and you can use it. They can use it. They can pay it back or they cannot pay it back.
Man. So the insurance game is it's almost like real financial literacy packed into.
It could be
protection.
Right?
I mean,
Right.
you're being protected. You're being, I guess, investing.
It could be, right, if you set it up right.
Okay.
And going back to the kids and the policies, I have, sold some children some policies.
Okay.
And it makes me very emotional because when I do that, I feel like I just gave another child an opportunity to become an entrepreneur. Right? So when you're talking about my process, one of the things we didn't talk about was I had to have money.
Right. Okay.
Okay?
Full circle. Come on.
Full circle, right? I had to go to State Farm and show that, hey, I'm financially solid.
Okay.
Right? And in that structure that I presented to them, guess what I could include in that?
What was that?
My life insurance policies. Because they have cash value.
Yes.
They have money. So I could show that I had that so that if I needed to borrow it, if hey, it got tight, look, payroll, that great team got to be paid for.
Yes.
And payroll has to be, you got to make that.
Yeah.
So I have other things in place where I'm able to borrow money if I needed to.
It's a whole system. And it's crazy because, Atlanta is like, welcome to Atlanta where the players play. Everybody plays in Atlanta. But in Atlanta, you got to have a financial plan because in order to be successful here, like you see everybody doing it, a lot of people doing their thing, but you got to have a financial plan and like understand how to make your money work for you. And I think that's what you guys teach mostly, how to make your money work for you.
Yes.
All right.
We try hard.
Man, you guys, so before we go, just want to talk about what's next for Kim Mays and what does it look like for you?
Whew. So what's next for Kim Mays is, so we were talking about all my licenses. I did just complete my last part of my securities license, which was the CHFC. That's the Chartered Financial Planner designation. And so I'm going to be adding that piece into my office, right? Helping people with investments, retirement planning, not just people, businesses.
Right.
Business owners. So what's next, I would say, for Kim Mays is really just expanding the knowledge, expanding the education to include not just auto and home insurance.
Correct.
Definitely want to say why the auto and home insurance is valuable, but bring in the other pieces, the life insurance, the disability insurance. Okay. Right? The retirement, the investments, and really helping my customers to set themselves up. Financially, I will share a statement that resonates really loud with me. And that was one of my professors. And she said, retirement is about ability. It's not about age. And I was like, shut up. That is such a true statement.
Absolutely.
The problem is we're not taking the steps to have that ability.
Okay.
So those are next steps for me, right? Can I get into the community and start trying to help people, even our young kids, right? Even though at 30, 35, they may have the ability to retire because we put the things in place. So giving them that option, you can continue to work.
Right.
But what if you had the ability to say, you know what? I'm good.
Hey.
But we too busy. Oh, life is lifing. And
Correct.
I can't. And so your life is lifing when it could have ended at 30, 35, now goes on to 65, 70 because
working.
we door dashing every day instead of,
Man.
why you make me do this?
I don't even want to talk about the DoorDash and the Uber gang. Oh my God. I think that's one of the biggest scams in America.
Well, but at the end of the day, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I
it's a
get
hustle.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like I get it. You got all these bills. You're hustling. You're working hard. You don't have time to cook dinner.
Right.
Right. And so you just got to do what you got to do.
Okay.
But I'm a full circle kind of girl. You got to have a plan. Right. So when I did my business, I had to have a business plan.
Okay.
And when I get off track on that plan, I can open that plan back up and get me back on track.
Right.
And if we took the time to put together a plan, I think that life wouldn't be lifing so hard. Because the reality is life ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going nowhere.
And it ain't getting better.
No.
So how do you learn how to flow with it?
Right. Man.
Sorry.
Before we go,
Okay.
I got to ask the question.
Ask the question.
I got to ask it, mine. How did you come up with Covered by Kim? How did you come up with that?
I think that I always try to come up with creativity, right?
Right.
I always try to be unique. I always try to be different.
Gotcha.
And again, going back to, the real estate, I use all the skill sets that I have to come together at this point. And so I want something catchy. So my real name is Kimberly Mays.
Yes.
Right?
Kimberly.
But when I went into real estate, I kind of said, I'm going to be Kim Mays, right? Because there's so many real estate agents. There's so many Kimberlys.
Okay.
So when people say my name, they call my whole name, right? So I kind of branded my whole name. And so I just thought about that, what could I come up with? Because, you got to come up with your website.
Yeah.
And Covered by Kim. I don't know. I was probably sleeping one day.
You're so right, because when I was driving over here, I was talking to the mayor on the phone, and I was like, I'm getting ready to go do an interview with Kim Mays.
Kim Mays. You got to say the whole name.
Got to say the whole name.
A lot of times when I do events, it's so funny, and people introduce me.
Okay.
They introduce me as Covered by Kim.
I can see that.
Yeah. They don't say State Farm. They just say Covered by Kim. Or they'll say Covered by Kim, State Farm agent.
Okay. Wow. Man, thank you for taking the time out to share your journey, to share your truth, to talk about this life be lifing. Man, I think we hit all the points. And anything you'd like to say before we go?
I'm here all day. If anybody wants to have a sit down, talk about a plan, how we can help, maybe life, not life so much, feel free to contact us. I have a phenomenal team. We're passionate about what we do. We're serious about what we do. It's not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. But for those who want the help, we are here. We want to be like a good neighbor. So get Covered by Kim.
Man, thank you.
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you.
I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Man, thank you for taking out the time. And, congratulations on 5 years.
Yes.
Wishing you 55 more, forever more, 500 more,
I'm trying to be on that ability plan. I'm on that ability plan.
What's that ability plan?
You remember I said retirement is about ability.
Oh man, okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. That's
remember we not working until we pull the sheet over us.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Voice of the Village podcast, Game Changers Media Network, Game Changers Magazine, Voice of the Village podcast.